What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we are looking ahead to 2025 and I'm going to be predicting every single UFC champion that will hold the belt at the end of the year next year. This time next year, who will be the 11 fighters with belts wrapped around their waists. We're talking about 8 men, 3 women, because we love diversity on this channel, of course. And yeah, let's get into it, starting off with the flyweight division, moving all the way up. And yeah, you guys let me know in the comments who you think is going to be the champion. I could do a separate video like predicting the title picture for every weight class in 2025. That'd be cool, where I sort of predict all of the title fights that are going to take place. That could be interesting, so let me know if you want to see that. But anyway, let's get on the way and we'll start off with the flyweight division. So we're starting off with the victimweight division, and my guy Alejandro Pantoja is gonna remain the champion in 2025. I feel pretty confident on this one. I would say if I had to bet money on one champion to still be reigning at the end of the year, actually, nah, to be fair, like Ilya's one, but I actually am more confident, and I'll explain why. I'm more confident in Pantoja retaining the belt by the end of the year than I am in an Islam Makhachev, or than I am in an Alex Pereira, or even an Ilia Topuria, arguably, because again, with Islam and Ilya, there's risk of them moving up, there's risk of them vacating, so even if they don't lose, that's not the guess. The guess is who's going to hold the belt, so they might not. But with Pantoja, I don't think he's the type of guy to go up and move up for a second belt, and even if he does, he's not going to stay there. Even if I don't think he would win it, but if he loses it, he's not going to be like, oh, I lost my belt, okay, I'm just going to vacate my other one, or so I lost this bantamweight title shot, let me just vacate my flyweight title. He'll just go back down, he'll be fine. So I think Pantoja is going to beat Kai Kara-France in early 2025 in the first quarter. I think he'll get that done by finish, by submission, and then I reckon I want to see him get 3 fights in this year. I would love to see him fight maybe like a March co-main event, and then we see how quick of a turnaround will that be. April, May, June, July. If he doesn't take heaps of damage, make a July turnaround on like the International Fight Week card, and then he can probably turn around in December by the end of the year. So I'm looking at he beats Kai Kara-France in March, and that'll be a week after Manel Kape versus Brandon Royval. So I reckon he fights the winner of that in July, International Fight Week. And then December, or maybe like in October, if he goes to Abu Dhabi, we maybe see a Makayev fight or an Asuel Mabayev fight in that region. Or he just fights in December and fights either of those guys as well, or maybe a Moreno again, I don't know. But it's usually pretty unlikely to see someone fight 3 times in a year, but I would love to see Pantoja be that guy. But regardless, I think he'll hold the belt. I don't see anyone beating him. I think Kai's is probably his most, not difficult, but dangerous matchup in terms of just the striking alone. But I just can't trust. I'm not going to go into a fight being like, yeah, I reckon Pantoja's chin's gone. Like, you just can't say that. He's eating flying knees off Asakura. Kai Kara-France ain't finishing this dude. Anyway, let's move on though to the bantamweight division. Start the bantamweight division, and I think Umar Nurmagomedov is gonna use his plot armor and win the belt and end the year with a title defense as well, or at some point maybe on that Abu Dhabi card. But I think we're gonna see Umar Nurmagomedov win the bantamweight title. Now, when the announcement of Merab and Umar came out, I was thinking, you know, all logic leans towards you should be picking Umar in this matchup, but Merab defies logic and he has EPO powers, so he might win based on cardio. I really don't. I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to be logical, because sometimes I go off based off like, oh, maybe. You know, maybe. But I'm going to stop going off maybe and just be more fucking logical and just be like, Umar's a better striker. Umar's got good defensive grappling. He's the biggest opponent frame-wise and like strength and build wise. Like, O'Malley's a bit taller, but like he's gonna be the most like imposing guy that he's ever fought. Merab, that is. Like, he's gonna be an even bigger frame than like a Jose Aldo, who Merab struggled to take down. And yeah, you ain't taking down Umar that easily, and so unless he just gasses him out, I don't see Merab winning this. So I'm thinking Umar's going to win, and then I think he's going to fight the winner of a Peter Yan, Sean O'Malley, or even if they don't make that fight, he might just get a Sean O'Malley fight, because they just don't want to risk O'Malley losing, and they want to do a big fight. I don't think O'Malley's winning against Umar. I don't think O'Malley's got the, like, he could catch him, because his counter-striking is solid, but I think Umar is a better striker than Merab, as mentioned before. So I think, yeah, if you're not KO'ing Merab, then yeah, I think Umar can do well enough in that fight, mix it up, get the win there. So I don't think we see him fight more than twice this year, but he's getting one in January. So there really isn't an excuse unless he gets injured to try and fight 3 times, because like I'm sick of these Dagestanis fighting fucking once a year. Like Islam Makhachev, bro, what are you doing? You fought in fucking October, you took no damage, didn't even come back before Ramadan. You come back in fucking June and fight Poirier, and then you don't fight for the rest of the year. Like, what the fuck's going on? That's disgraceful. But yeah, Umar hopefully can get at least 3 fights in, or at least 2, hopefully 3, but I doubt it. But I do think he will win against Marab, and I think he'll beat a Pidiano or Sean O'Malley, whoever he fights after that. So yeah, I think Umar gonna win the belt and defend it. Let's move on though to the featherweight division. The weight division, Ilia Aptoro, Top Toro. You know, I slapped the nails off him, but I do think he's a fucking decent fighter. I'll give him credit, but yeah, I think he will remain the featherweight champion until 2025. But to be honest, I still think I would spark him unconscious with the left inside 3 rounds. But Ilia Aptoro, I think he is going to beat Lopez or Volk, probably Volk, whoever he fights next. And if he will get off his ass and fight more than once every 7 months, then he can probably fight the other of those 2 fighters. Or if we do a Lopez versus Movzar fight, and the winner of that fights the winner of Volkanovski and Topuria, I think Ilia beats either of those guys. I think Lopez is his most dangerous stylistic matchup, just in terms of the potential to catch him. I think Volk is a better all-round skilled fighter than Lopez, and if Volk, it's like obviously saying like if my fucking nan had wheels, should be a wagon or some shit, like whatever the saying is, then like if Volk had a great chin and wasn't just going to get slept, like if you remove the possibility of Volk getting KO'd, I would favour him to beat Ilia more than Lopez. Like if you go like, okay, neither of them are going to get KO'd, who do you favour to win more across 25 minutes? I favour Volk to win, because I think Volk's style, if he's not getting KO'd, I think he's just going to pick him apart as the fight goes on, and Ilia's not going to be able to keep up. But Ilia's going to catch him. Volk don't have the chin. He's going to be taking a fucking year and a half by the time he comes back, probably. He's going to fight in like fucking May. So yeah, I think Volk's going to look a bit mid. I think he'll look decent. I might be actually leaning Ilia by like decision or like a round 4-5 TKO, similar to like an Aldo Holloway. I know that was like round 3, but like a later rounds finish after Volk kind of makes him work for it a bit. And then yeah, I think he'll fight Lopez after that, or Movzar. Beat either of those 2. The only asterisk is if he goes up. If Ilia goes up and vacates, I will say Lopez ends the year as champion, just because I think he can catch Volk. But if Ilia moves up, it's like a 33.3 split between Lopez, Volk, and Movzar based on who gets the fight. But I doubt Movzar gets the fight. Like, if Ilia goes up and they have to make a vacant belt, they ain't doing fucking Movzar live, I'll tell you that much. They're gonna do... Even if Ilia fucking KOs Volk in the rematch, they would probably still do another Volk title fight in a vacant belt against Lopez over Movzar Lopez. I'm gonna just be real with it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But... yeah, I think Ilia Aptoro, if he doesn't move up, he will retain the belt. He will beat Lopez or Ilia. So Lopez or Volk or Movzar. I don't see anyone beating this dude right now. But let me tell you, Gene Silva, this kid's badass. He's going to win the belt 2027. Moving on, though, to the next fighter. Okay, now, Islam Makhachev, if he remains at lightweight, I feel very confident in saying will retain the title and will become will remain the lightweight champion by the end of the year, and then be looking to move up to welterweight. But let me just say this, if he does beat Arman Sarkarian and he gets that one done in the rematch, you know, that's a competitive fight. That's a real thing. Arman Sarkarian, he can win that. But I do think Arman's got a decent chance, but I think Islam's going to win. I just don't think Islam is worse than him anyway. I think Arman's just not good enough anywhere to like outdo him in any range of the game. So I think if he beats Arman Sarkarian and he moves up, then yeah, I think someone else will win the belt. I'll talk about that in a second. If he remains at lightweight, yeah, I don't know who the fuck's beating this dude. Like, he's not going to fight Aptoro. He's going to fucking rematch Oliveira, which he would win, or he would probably fucking fight the winner of like a Hooker Gaethje, who he would beat, either of them. Maybe a Holloway, who he would beat. But let me just say this, this is the boring part. No one cares about Islam. Everyone knows Islam. Well, people like him. Like, no one cares. Everyone knows he's going to be the champ if he stays at lightweight. But let's be interesting, and let's hypothesize and say, I'm going to say Islam moves up. And that's going to tie in with my welterweight, because I'm going to have 2 names there as well. But if he does, in fact, move up, I think Charles Oliveira is going to become the champion of the world. Now, you guys might say, left lane, he lost to Arman Sakarian. He would lose to him again in a 5-rounder. That's a bad matchup for him, and you would be correct. Which is why I'm not predicting him to fight Arman Sakarian for the belt. Because let me just tell you this, it's a real thing. If Arman Sakarian loses to Islam, I'm going to tell you what they're not going to do, is run him straight back into a vacant fucking title fight against Oliveira. That is like a fucking 2% chance of happening unless like everyone else in the division is just injured. Like, Dustin Poirier's got a better fucking chance of getting a title shot off a win over Paddy Pimblett than Arman Sakarian does, even though he's a better fighter to fight Oliveira, right? So I think what's going to happen is we're going to see Islam move up. He's going to kind of take some time. He's going to watch the welterweight title fight between Shavkat and Belal. Shavkat is going to win. Now, I'm going to save that for the welterweight talk. Shavkat's going to win. Islam's going to say, Alhamdulillah, moving up, second belt, let's go. And then he's going to vacate. Or he's going to hold on to it and they're going to book the fight, and then they're going to have Islam have his welterweight fight, and then at like a month later, the lightweight fight happens. They've got him booked, right? So they're going to do Oliveira versus either the winner of Hooker Gaethje, assuming that happens, or Max Holloway coming off a win in a potential another fight. Maybe he fights Poirier in a trilogy. Who knows? Maybe he fights the winner of Moicano Dariush. I think that's a little bit below his pay grade, to be honest. But we'll see what happens. But I think more likely it's Hooker Gaethje or Holloway does check out, though. That could make sense. So I think we're going to see Oliveira versus either Hooker, Gaethje, or Holloway in 2025, later September, August time of year, and we're going to see him get a vacant fight, and then he's going to beat either of those guys because he's already beaten Hooker. He's already beaten Gaethje, sorry. I think he would beat Hooker comfortably, and I think he could probably beat Holloway at lightweight. We'll see, though. Holloway's competitive. Like, Holloway's actually a sleeper chance to win. If you check the odds for fucking lightweight champion, and you see Holloway at, like, plus 5,000, chuck $5 on that, let me tell you. That's a real thing. But yeah, that is going to be my lightweight prediction. Is if Islam stays there, he retains. If he moves up, Oliveira will regain the belt, and we're going to see the Do Bronx edits all over TikTok. Anyway, moving on, though, to the welterweight division. Welterweight division, let me tell you about this kid, Carlos Prates. CP is a badass fighter. You do not want to miss CP in 2025. No, pause. Okay, but I'm not even taking the piss. Okay, I'm glazing at this point, I can't lie. But, hear me out. I know half of you clicked off the video, you've gone down to the comments, left lane, doing tricks on it, bro. No hands, like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are going to be saying in the comments. But, let me just say, I think Carlos Prates is going to get a way higher fucking opponent than people think he should get in his next fight. I'm thinking Leon Edwards. I'm thinking JDM. I'm thinking a potential fucking Joaquin Buckley for no apparent reason whatsoever, despite Buckley being on a 5-fight win streak at welterweight. I'm thinking they won't do Sean Brady. They're smart. That's like his worst matchup. But like, they're going to give him, or we go the washed route and they kill Colby and give him Colby and he smokes him, and then they give him another fight. But Prates has shown a willingness to stay active. I think he's going to have 2 fights before he gets to the title. I think he's going to, or he might just have 1. I know it sounds crazy, but like, think about it. BSD, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but like, BSD went from fucking number 14 beating Matt Frivola and then immediately fights Poirier at like number 3. Could you not see Prates getting a fucking fight with like Leon Edwards or JDM? Like, Usman doesn't accept JDM and they need fights for the Australia card, we get that booked. Or they do fucking, I don't know, JDM versus Usman, they do Prates versus Leon or Prates versus Buckley, something like that. We see one of those fights. He wins by KO. And if you win a top 5 fight by KO in a title fight picture, which is not extremely... actually, no, I take that back. There's a lot of guys to fight for the belt, but like, if JDM looks kind of mid against Usman somehow, and like Usman still got it and makes him struggle, even though Usman would be a better win and JDM would be more deserving, I could see them running, especially if, this ties with my prediction. If Islam moves up, I do believe he will hold the belt at the end of the year. I'm going to just say that. So if Islam moves up, all bets are off. Prates, you're going to have to wait till he retires. I'm sorry, buddy. You ain't beating Islam. That's where the glaze stops. I'm not picking him to beat Islam Makhachev. But, you know, he could get it done, no. But if Islam does not move up, Islam stays at lightweight or just retires and doesn't even care about the second belt, like if Belal beats Shavkat, maybe we see, this is my call, we either see Bilal beats Shavkat and then Islam won't move up. So then what we do is we do JDM versus Bilal. JDM wins via Australian plot armor and bedtime MMA endorsement and gets it done. And then we're going to see Prates beat JDM at the end of the year. Or they just skip the fucking line and just do Prates versus Bilal. I don't even know at this point. Or Buckley, Bilal, and then Prates after that against whoever. I actually this isn't even about me thinking he's going to go on like a 4-fight win streak. I think he's just going to win a fucking fight in like the top 7. And they're just going to give him a title shot. I can't lie. This is my call. Now, if you think he won't get that privilege, that's fair. He probably shouldn't. He definitely shouldn't. But I think he will. That's the call. That's like last year when I predicted that Bernard St. Denis would end the year as like the number 3 ranked lightweight, which ended up being an awful call. But I thought he was going to get a really high... and I predicted that before the Poirier fight got booked. And as soon as that got booked, everyone's like, you're a genius. And then I turned out to not be a genius. But I reckon Prates is finishing the year top 5. And if he gets the title shot against anyone but Sean Brady, who I don't know how he would fight Sean Brady for the belt, a whole lot of fucking shenanigans would have to go on for that to happen. I think he could, and honestly, he probably loses to Bilal. So what's going to happen? Shavkat is going to beat him. And then I don't know how this prediction works because my call is if Shavkat wins, Islam moves up. So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe Islam moves up, beats Shavkat, immediately just retires from the sport by the end of the year. So he holds neither belt and everyone's predictions are cooked. And then Prates wins a vacant title against JDM. I don't know. There's some cookery that's going to go on in welterweight. I reckon we're going to see some absolutely retarded fucking title fights next year. But anyway, that's my call. Moving on though to the next division. Middleweight division, Khamzat Chimaev. It's finally gonna happen. Motherfuckers have been putting this man as their champion in fucking welterweight and middleweight for like the last 4 years. I'm not joking. Since the Burns fight, or since even before the Burns fight, since going into that year, 2023, I'm pretty sure, or was that 2022? Fucking hell, year moves quickly. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was 2022. What the fuck? We're getting old. We're gonna die soon. But Khamzat Chimaev, ever since he fucking beat Li Jingliang, I'm 90% sure if you go back and look at like predicting champions for every year, you're gonna have people picking him in 22, you're gonna have people picking him in 23, you have people picking him in 24, and now everyone's picking him in 25. This man has managed to run off 4 fucking consecutive years of getting predicted to be the UFC champion by the end of the year, and still hasn't lost, but he's just not the champion. Crazy. This dude's moved up, took a year between like 3 of his fights, and then I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. But I think 2025 is going to finally be the year he's set up for a title shot. At least with the previous years, it was like, I'm banking on him getting another win and then fighting for the belt. No, we're done with that now. So unless he catastrophically fucking gets injured and dies, or falls ill to the common cold, then I don't think he's going to lose his title opportunity, because he's not going to have to fight again. This is not like, oh, Khamzat's booked against fucking Caio Borralho and he'll probably win, but he might get sick and pull out of the fight. Like, no, he's got his big win. He beat Whitaker. Now he's just waiting. He's waiting for Strickland Dricus, winner of that. He's fighting him later in the year. And I think that he's got one step. Yep, you finally managed to struggle your way there, get past all these barriers, and you're finally there. You got one more step. Just don't fucking slip over the banana peel on the top of the stairs. Don't slip on the fucking spilt water on the bottom of the stairs in the middle of the night when you can't see. Like, that's all Khamzat's got to do, and then he's there and he's won the belt. Alhamdulillah. But we'll see. I think his real battle is no longer with Dricus du Plessis, it's with the common cold. He's going to make sure keeps that immune system running, and he should win. I think he'll beat Dricus, and I don't think he'll even need to defend by the end of this. So this is not like, oh, maybe he gets a dangerous matchup and loses at the end of the year. No, I think he's fighting Dricus. I'm not kidding. They're going to drag this, and he's going to fucking fight him in like October in Abu Dhabi. I'm not even joking. That's what's going to happen. Saudi's going to buy him out and be like, nah, this guy's not fighting anywhere else. We'll pay you money to have him fight here. That's what they're going to do. Anyway, let's move on though to the light heavyweight division. Next up, Alex Poatan Pereira. Now, I'm being risky here, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, you're picking champions to retain their belts. That's boring. I'm going to be fun with this one, honestly. I reckon, well, I'm sorry, I was going to say people would want me to be fun with this and pick like something else, but like, what do you want me to fucking say? Jamal Hill wins the fucking belt? Like, the only other realistic take is Uncle Live, and I feel like that's what more people are saying at this point. But what I think is going to happen, this is why I wanted to do this like predicting title fights in 2025 video, because I think we're going to see Alex Pereira versus, he's not fucking fighting Khamzat Chimaev, that's definitely fucking bullshit. I reckon we're going to see him fight Carlos Ulberg in March as the main event for that Vegas pay-per-view, maybe Miami, but probably March, because Ankalaev cannot fight in Ramadan, and they need a main event, and the UFC is not fucking main eventing Pantoja on a pay-per-view 3 times in a row. I love Pantoja. You ain't main eventing another Vegas card, buddy. They ain't getting away with this. Like, they got away with it because it was a throwaway Brazil card, and they had Aldo on it, and then they got away with it because it's like, but we got Gary Shavkat, so it's cool. I swear to God, if they fucking do this with if they do Pantoja Kai Kara fans with the co-main event of Kayla Harris and Juliana Pena, I don't mean to be that guy, but I'm gonna crash out. Like, that's unacceptable. This is a co-main event title fight, Pereira in the main. I think that's what they're gonna want. I think they're gonna pull Ulberg and have him fight Blachowicz, and have him fight Pereira, or they do a fucking Blachowicz, or they do, who knows, they do Jamal Hill for all I know on a fucking month turnarounds. Like, Bogdan Guskov's getting a title shot, ladies and gentlemen. But Pereira, I think, is going to get a win in against a favourable stylistic matchup, and then I think he's going to fight Big Ank in like August, September, something like that, and I think he can win. Yes, I'm being mostly hopeful and hoping he wins because I'm worried that Ankalaev will somehow chin him. But yeah, Poatan is going to retain the belt. Let's move on to the heavyweight division. Heavyweight division, Aspinall's KO on this fucking fraudulent duck bum of the sport, fake goat. He's going to knock him out. That's all that needs to be said, and then he's going to fight fucking Gane or Almeida in London later in the year, and he'll win. Or Jones is going to just try and delay this shit beyond belief, and they'll fight in fucking July, and then Aspinall won't get a fight in the rest of the year. Who knows? There is an asterisk. Maybe like fucking Pereira goes up, maybe Jones wins somehow. But even if he wins, I think he vacates and then just dips, or just tries to. Actually, he might fight Pereira if he wins. So we'll see what happens with Jones, but I think he's going to lose. I think we're finally going to get Aspinall with the undisputed title, and that's going to be tremendous. Anyway, let's just skim through the women's divisions real quick, just for equality, diversity purposes. Strawweight, Zhang Weili is going to beat Tatiana Suarez, who I do not think is as good as people think she is. People are acting like this is just she's the female Khamzat Chimaev. Like, bruh, come on. Let's chill out. She beat Jessica Andrade by guillotine and fucking Montana De La Rosa. Like, let's calm down. She's fucking been unable to stay consistent in a training camp and like in fight shape for her entire fucking career. Plus, I think she's a favourable stylistic matchup for Weili, because I don't think Weili's getting taken down. People forget, man, Weili's takedown defense has improved a lot since the fucking Namajunas fight. Like, that's cost her. Even though I thought she actually won that fight, that's what cost her, the rematch I'm talking about. That's what cost her, though, was getting taken down. I don't think Suarez is taking her down. Weili's way more physical now. She's stronger. She's got the secret juice. She's definitely on fucking roids. But yeah, I think she's a better striker. She's more explosive. Suarez, I think, isn't going to look the best. Like, she's going to need a few fucking seconds to get into that fight. Weili's kind of used to this like bit of time off, but like Suarez is just constantly in and out of fucking camp, like fight shape, recovery, all that. So I don't think it's going to go well for her. Weili's going to win, and then maybe move up later in the year and lose to a Shevchenko if they try and do a super fight there, or maybe she'll beat a Jandiroba in the meantime. But yeah, Weili, if she gets past Suarez, I don't think anyone else beats her. Anyway, flyweight division, I think Shevchenko is going to lose to Manon Fiorot. And then, or she might, she's going to lose to Manon Fiorot, or if she beats Manon, she might lose to Weili, and she might, or I could see Natalia Silva's another shot at getting it if she gets a title shot, but I think Manon Fiorot, it's hard to know. Like, I'm predicting one title fight in like, with these women's fights at this point, like, most divisions are getting one title fight. Like, Bantamweight got 2 because they got one irrelevant one at the start of the year, but like, Strawweight got 1, Flyweight got 1 last year, or this year, I should say. Well, I'm not going to predict multiple title fights. So Manon, I think she's going to beat Shevchenko. Anyway, and then Bantamweight, Kayla's going to fucking beat Pena. Praise the Lord if that happens. We need it. Get us out of the fucking Pena title reign. She cannot be a champion of this sport for it to be considered serious. But that'll do it, guys. Hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Who do you think is going to be the champion in every division? Obviously, this is an unbiased video. And I have no dog in this race. I have no horse in this race. I really don't really care who's the champion. It's just, I just think Prata is going to be welterweight champion, Anyway, let's move on. That's it, guys. Goodbye.